Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I'm back each and every day in videos just like this one to help you out with all of the latest updates that are coming out and key dates that you want to take note of for very important things that are going to be happening, just like what we're going to discuss in this video. I'm also here to help you through this time, as I know it's very difficult, it's confusing, and the struggle is real right now, and I want to do whatever I possibly can to help out everybody in this community in any way that I can through these videos. So if you like the sound of that, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video, and please feel free to share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. All right, so as we know, the Democratic Party is currently working on this huge $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. They've had this thing on the table for quite a while now, but it officially was not opened up until they passed the budget resolution through the Senate and in the House of Representatives. Now that happened a few weeks ago, so it is officially opened up for applications, ideas, proposals, and basically anything else you can throw within it, and they will possibly consider what's going on in this thing. So this thing has been opened up for a few weeks now, and they continue to come out with all these different proposals, ideas, and provisions, anything that they want to add into this $3.5 trillion package. What does this date actually represent, and why is it actually very important when it comes to this big reconciliation bill? Here's why. Previously, Chuck Schumer, the leader in the Senate on the Democratic side, has previously said he wants to be the date in which the committees from the House and the Senate put together all of the provisions, everything that they want included in this package, and be presented by September 15th, or thereabouts, we should say. But he has identified as the date that he wants the committees to have all of the information, as in the proposals, the provisions, all of the ideas, basically everything that they want into this stimulus package, they want it on the table by now. Does that mean that we have everything that they're going to add into this package by now? No, not even close. There's no possible way. Here's the thing. We know most of the headliners that are going to be in this package, right? We've talked about them many times before. We probably don't need to get into the list, but I can run through it really quickly if you'd like me to. Basically, expansion of Medicare to include hearing, dental, and vision, to lower the eligibility age. There's paid family and medical leave within there. There's 2 years of community college. There's free childcare in there, expansion of Pell Grants, expansion of the child tax credit. Those are basically the headliners within this package, but that is nowhere near $3.5 trillion worth of spending. However, even though some of these proposals here, they want to extend out for many, many years into the future, even with that, it's still not $3.5 trillion worth of spending. So the simple fact is, do we have all of the proposals and everything that they want to add into this massive $3.5 trillion package? I would have to say no. Probably not. So now this is pretty much upon us. Does that mean that we are going to be having all of this whole package just buttoned up and done with? No, not even close. Because here's the thing. We've seen this before, and a lot of times, some of the best provisions and stimulus proposals that go into these packages actually come out within the negotiation process while they're in one of the chambers, either in the House going through the negotiation process or in the Senate. Let's be real. The best amendments that come into these packages or the proposals typically come out of the Senate. I'm just being real with you. That's typically what happens. The House of Representatives is pretty much just a rubber stamp. That's pretty much what happens there. But the Senate, they actually go back and forth, and there's actually some people in the Senate there who actually come out and add in some different proposals and provisions. One example being stimulus package number 2, or maybe I should say the package that contained stimulus check, number 2 back in late 2020. That was a good one. It was in the 11th hour going through the negotiation process in the Senate. Well, let me take that back. It wasn't quite the 11th hour quite yet. It was a couple days out from being passed. It was pretty close. It was right at the last minute there, very close to being done. But Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley, 2 senators, came out and said, we need a stimulus check. Because prior to that, there was no stimulus check in the package. It was just a package there that had all kinds of different things within it, and there was no stimulus check in the package. Well, then just a few days before the package actually passed, Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley came out and they were like, hey, we need a stimulus check in this thing, and we're not going to give up. We need to have a stimulus check, and we need to get a seat in there. Otherwise, we're not voting for it. Well, guess what? They ultimately continued to persevere. They continued to push on, and ultimately they got their stimulus check into package, that $900 billion package at the end of 2020, right? Remember that whole ordeal? So that stimulus check was actually added into the package literally just a few days before it was actually signed, passed through the chambers, and then signed into law by the president. So, yeah. As you can see, a lot of these good amendments come right out of the Senate in the last minute. Let me give you one more quick example. This last stimulus check package that they passed with the $1,400 stimulus checks back in March of 2021, it was in literally the last few minutes of negotiations in the Senate. They were working their way through, and all of a sudden they hit a roadblock, and it was Joe Manchin. He came out and basically said, you know, I don't like this. We need to add something in for this unemployment business right now. In other words, he basically said, we want to exclude the first $10,200 of unemployment benefits that people received in 2020 from being included as income and taxable. Therefore, in the very last minutes, literally, they were through the very last negotiation process in the Senate, and they threw that provision in there, ultimately throwing that $10,200 of unemployment benefits to be non-taxable and not counted as income. Well, that was huge. That resulted in a lot of big tax refunds for a lot of people. I mean, thousands of dollars for some people. They got that back because they previously paid taxes on it, and then they got that back in the form of a tax refund. So the Senate is usually where it's at. So we would probably anticipate something very similar to that going forward with this package as well. So now that they want to have this thing completely buttoned up, which honestly, they're probably not going to have it completely done. As far as all the provisions and everything like that, by the end of the day is what it sounds like, based on what Chuck Schumer has previously said. And then they want to push this thing through and try to get it done by the 1st of October. Again, I think it's going to be kind of a stretch. We'll see about that, but they want to have this thing done by then. That does not give them much time at all, about 2 weeks to get this done. Meanwhile, at the same time, they also want to pass the infrastructure package in about 2 weeks from now. They want to pass the infrastructure package. And then again, well, yeah, it's not quite 2 weeks. A little less than 2 weeks, they want to pass the infrastructure package. And then shortly thereafter, the end of the month, is the end of the fiscal year for the federal government, where they need to figure out something then before the new fiscal year starts on October 1st. They have a lot going on right now. They have a lot on their table. So, if you look at things that were highest priority would probably be figuring out the federal budget. I mean, honestly, that is probably one of their highest priority things. You would think it would be anyway. Otherwise, they could potentially be facing a government shutdown if they don't actually get that hammered out and done by October 1st. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot going on. But either way, it's still a very influential date that we need to keep an eye on, even though it's pretty much upon us, right? We need to keep an eye on this because this is the date. We may see some big things come out and some big announcements, basically them coming out saying, hey, we have it all. We have everything for the package. It's right here. And we might just need to go through all of it and see what's in there for the people. But just remember, if something is not included on that date or going forward, we just need to remember, as they work their way through the final negotiation process, it's likely there will be additional amendments and things added into the package. So if there's something not in there, if something is missing, we just need to remember that keep our eyes open. It could still be added, right? So anyway, this is what's going on. A very big day ahead of us, right? So either way, I'm going to continue watching everything very closely. I imagine it's going to be very busy going forward, as it has been in the last few days and weeks. Well, let's be real. The last few months here, it's been very busy with a lot of things coming out. So either way, I'll continue watching all this. I will keep you updated with all this stuff going on right now. I'll boil it all down into these short videos and come back and deliver it to you a couple times each and every day. So make sure to subscribe right down below, as I will keep you updated and so that you don't miss any videos going forward. Also, go back and check out some other videos right here on the channel, as we have a lot of really good stuff here for you to enjoy. And if you'd like, feel free to share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks again. I really appreciate you. And just remember, I'm here to help out in any way that I can. Enjoy, and I'll see you again in the next. Enjoy.